Hello. So basically, I am unable to sleep right now. It is 2:30, and I've just set all this up to talk to someone because everyone else I know is in bed and asleep, and I am wide awake. So let's talk about Just Stop Oil. Do you know what? I'm not even joking. It's really interesting. So basically, I was listening to the radio earlier, and I don't know if anyone who's not from the UK is aware, because I know lots of my fans are Irish, because it's just my friendies watching, and that's so fun. Anyways, so you guys probably don't know, but 5 Just Stop Oil protesters have just been jailed for between 4 and 5 years, I'm pretty sure. And if you don't know, Just Stop Oil is like a climate change group. I don't want to say group, they're like, let me look up their exact. Oh, whoopsies. I'm gonna just look up what is Just Stop Oil and see what comes up. And I promise you guys, this is not because I have no idea myself. No, seriously, I do. I'm not an idiot. Anyway, okay, here, Just Stop Oil on their website. Oh, wait. Sorry, it's all just gone. FAQs. Oh, what is Just Stop Oil? Just Stop Oil is a coalition of groups working together to ensure that the government commits to ending all new licenses and consents for the exploration, development, and production of fossil fuels in the UK. What does Just Stop Oil want? We demand that the UK government makes a statement that it will immediately halt all future licensing and consents for the exploration, development, and production of fossil fuels in the UK. Is that not what I just read? Anyways, why is it needed? The scientific evidence is unequivocal. Climate change is a threat to human well-being and the health of the planet. Sorry, that was mean. I'm trying to be a nicer person this year. It's like always my New Year's resolution. Ignore that doy. I'll forget to remove it, or I won't be able to like clip it together neatly. Any further delay in concerted global action will miss a brief and rapidly closing window to secure a livable future. True that. Yeah, that's all true. Sorry, I've been watching too much Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anyways, so the reason I'm talking about them is because, yeah, like I said, 5 Just Stop Oil protesters have been jailed between 4 and 5 years each for protesting after being found guilty, and this is from the BBC, of conspiracy to cause a public nuisance for coordinating direct action protests on the M25, which is a big road in the UK, over 4 days in November of 2022. In the protests, they organised 45 Just Stop Oil protesters to climb gantries, which is like the big hanging signs saying like, oh, this junction, leave for air. I don't, I can't think of any other big city. Air is apparently like it. Anyways, forcing police to stop all the traffic on the M25, which, like I said, is a big road in the UK. This resulted in chaos. With nearly 51,000 hours of driver's delays. What does that even mean? Does that mean there was 51,000 people stopped for an hour or something? Like 51,000 hour of driver's delays. Like, so there was a certain amount of people delayed for a certain amount of hours and they just times all that, I'm assuming, or multiplied. 2 lorries colliding. Okay, so was that because the road was stopped? Like, it just says that they collided, it doesn't say why. So, like, was that necessarily their fault? I mean, I assume, like, they collided when the traffic was being stopped by the police or something, or when or maybe someone got distracted looking up at the people and, like, accidentally drove left. I don't really know. And, almost worst of all, a police motorcyclist came off of his bike. Now, I assume that's a motorbike, not a push bike. You should be more succinct BBC. Is succinct the right word there, or is it detailed? I don't think it is succinct. Is succinct not to do with when you are talking? I have said succinct too much now. Anyway, he fell off his bike during one of the protests when trying to bring traffic to a halt in a rolling roadblock. Anyways, so the reason this was on the radio earlier, and the reason it's had quite a lot of big news, because like obviously their protests do typically get quite big news breaks, quite a lot of attention on the media, is because they do big actions rather than like peaceful protests wherein they, you know, do a sit-in or something. Like, I think was it not them that threw the tin of soup in the Louvre? Let me look it up again. Just stop oil Louvre. Oh. Yeah. Okay, wait. Was it them that threw soup at the Mona Lisa? Oh no, the group Food Repost. Now that looks like a French word, so I might not have said that right. Oh, Just Stop Oil activists throw soup at Van Gogh's sunflowers is what I'm thinking of. In the National Gallery in London. That makes more sense than being in the Louvre, given that they're, I think, an English group. Anyways, the reason this has garnered so much attention is because I think the worst sentence given was 5 years, which feels quite crazy. So my mum is, like, works with jails and knows a lot about sentencing, and that's, like, a pretty big sentence. So I'm pretty sure, like, okay, wait, look, here. Sorry. The Guardian was, like, comparing them, and let me get it up. So, yeah. So, although comparing sentences is an imperfect science, each sentence should be done by their own judge and will not necessarily be comparable, is what they're saying. It throws up some striking contrasts. That's what I was saying. Crimes of violence against someone, the average sentence is like 1.7 years, and robbery is 4 years. So then the fact that somebody who didn't actively go out of their way to harm someone else, who's just trying to make a point, who's just trying to protest, is getting more than either of those is kind of crazy and kind of almost feels unconstitutional. Some would argue. And then also, look, individual comparisons can also pose questions. Can it be right that the protesters who forced closure of a motorway will be locked away for so long, when in March a woman was given a 6-month suspended sentence for causing death by careless and or inconsiderate driving? So, like, that's the thing, is this feels like a very harsh sentence for what kind of ultimately didn't harm anyone that badly, I want to say. Now, I don't want to, like, have gotten some facts wrong and say, like, the policeman on the motorbike was, like, hurt badly or something and I don't know about it. But the fact that this one man is getting, like, 5 years and the other 4, so I'm pretty sure it's 5 that have got jail time in total, and 4 of them got 4 years, and one guy, like the oldest, I think he's like 50 something, got 5 years because he was, like, supposedly the main one who orchestrated it all, and he did, like, a pretty bang up job. Now, I'm not, like, anyway, sorry, I got distracted reading it. I'm not, like, trying to say that they shouldn't have had any time at all, because obviously this was, like, massive in terms of, like, how much disruption it caused. But if you compare it to, like, similar sentences, it's kind of surprising that for protesting they got so long. And also, what I was reading about earlier is on the sentencing council.org.uk, talking about custodial sentences. And here, verbatim, this is a direct quote I'm going to read. Imprisonment is the most severe sentence available to the courts. Custodial sentences are reserved for the most serious offences and are imposed when the offence committed is so serious that neither a fine alone nor a community sentence can be justified for the offence, which is section 230 of the sentencing code. So then you have to think, like, so they had what? They had like 45 people hanging from the gantries, which obviously disrupted like a lot of people, and it caused, it was a big thing. It was like a whole thing. But the fact that they're getting, look, sorry, I'm being distracted, but right here under there it says 7 years imprisonment for a third class A drug trafficking offence. That's 2 more years than this guy for organising a protest. And then you also have to think, like, the judge surely should have taken into account that, like, it's a constitutional right. So I know we're not in America and the Constitution's not so laid out, but, like, it's a constitutional right to protest, right? It's, like, a huge part of our society, and the fact that they're threatening that by, like, handing out sentences for organising one. And I get that it wasn't necessarily a peaceful protest, but when I was listening on the radio earlier, a man compared them to terrorists, and he was like, well, would you sentence a terrorist because they had a point to make? And that's just not the same thing, you moron. But, like, okay, see here, like, 5 years for certain firearm offences. So, like, illegally owning a gun is worse than organising a protest. Now, they did say, pardon me, I was, like, reading about it earlier, and they were like, he was kind of, like, because I'm trying to find, because I, like, kept all my tabs open, and I have too many. Oh, wait, sorry. In a bit that I didn't read, Michael Forst, UN Special Rapporteur, is that right? On environmental defenders who attended part of the trial issued a statement at its conclusion. Today is a dark day for peaceful environmental protest in the UK, he said. The sentence should shock the conscience of any member of the public. Yeah, it shocked me. Because, oh, sorry, just been distracted. But the other thing is, like, I'm pretty sure people took signs to their trial, like, to protest their trial, like, as part of they did it for the sake of the earth. Like, they were protesting climate change within their trial, trying to defend them, kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure some of them either got fined or got, like, charged. Like, they got charged with something, and I can't remember. I think it was a fine that they got instead of any kind of actual sentence time. But that feels even dodgier, because, like, you can kind of understand where they're coming from, in that these people organised, like, a massive protest which disrupted a lot of people's times and days. But the people who brought signs to the actual court have also been charged. And they just brought a sign into court to protest. So they didn't really disrupt anyone, and I'm pretty sure, like, the judge, I'm pretty sure, said that I think it was a man. It was like, oh wait, I have it up because I was, like, trying to figure out who it was. Christopher Hare. Yeah. Okay, because, like, he said the 10-year maximum sentence would have been called for in case of the protesters if the disruption had caused gridlock. So it didn't even cause a gridlock. So, like, traffic wasn't stopped, it was just slowed to a roll. So I just feel like 5 years is so harsh. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. Oh wait, sorry. I just accidentally opened something that I'd already opened. Oh my god. Okay, so the judge apparently also ruled that the jury should not take into account evidence about climate breakdown which the defendants wanted to point out as key motivation behind their actions, which they said provided them with a reasonable excuse. So I feel like if you're charging someone for protesting, you also kind of have to delve into the topic behind which they're protesting. So if someone was protesting, like, to the same extent, wanting a fascist government, then you would kind of be like, okay, so you're... I feel like this is a dangerous conversation to have, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Actually, I do. Sorry, if you're supporting a fascist government, get out of here. But, like, if someone was protesting that, you feel like their sentence should be treated very differently as kind of almost quite a rational protest about fossil fuels and climate change, because, I mean, yeah, the UK needs to step up and do a lot better. Like, it's literally, you look... the summers, I'm not that old, I'm 19, and I can see how it's changed in Scotland, like the climate from 10 years ago when I was wee. It's so different. We get snow in like April. We never used to get snow point blank, and we get heavy snow now when it's supposed to be spring. Like, it's crazy. So the fact that he's saying don't even take into account what they're protesting feels insane to me. Like, that's... Sorry, if someone was protesting something completely nonsensical, like how you can't buy 2 left shoes, then you would be like, okay, they're just wasting time. But protesting about climate change is not a waste of time. You know, you need to take that into account. And actually, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm misremembering, which I could be, I'm pretty sure that was like, I mean, I just kind of read that it was like part of their defendants, but I think one girl gave her own statement and was like, wait, I'm gonna find this. Yeah, okay, Geethan. I don't know if that's how you say, I don't know if I'm pronouncing anyone's names right, or some normal English words. Who offered her own comments in mitigation, said, I want to remind the court once more that my reasons for taking action were not beliefs or opinions. Earth's life support systems are breaking down due to human activities, whether we believe it or not. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a nonsensical reason. Like, it's a valid point. Okay, wait, she goes on. These are not beliefs or opinions, and feeling strongly that this is wrong is greatly understandable, I would argue. I deeply regret that this action was necessary. I maintain that it was necessary, and I stand by my actions as the most effective option available to me. Okay, yeah, like, okay, you know, it's... necessary is a strong word here. Like, it wasn't necessary that she does that, but it was kind of her only option. Nobody is listening, and nothing is getting in the news unless it's like a big display and causes some kind of public outrage, you know? Nobody remembers the suffragists. Everyone remembers the suffragettes, the ones who, you know, bombed the Botanic Gardens. History coming in clutch. Like, I think it's crazy that the judge has ruled that the jury shouldn't take account, like, any evidence about climate change. That's just kind of insane. Oh my god. Oh my god, okay. Each barrister sought unsuccessfully to persuade the judge that lengthy sentences could be avoided. Okay, whatever. Okay, one of the barristers said the likelihood of his reoffending was lowered by the fact that the new Labour government had essentially just stopped oil's core demand by ending North Sea oil and gas exploration. So then also surely that should be taken into account. The reoffending rate. Like, prison is supposed to be a way of rehabilitating people back into civilization. Like, it's not supposed to be... I mean, it is in part punishment, but it is also in part rehabilitation, and the fact that they're much less likely to reoffend because of Labour's policies, like, I feel like that ought to be taken into account as well. Basically, okay, here's my takeaway. The judge is crazy. No, I think it's so harsh and so unnecessary. Like, I know Just Stop Oil aren't liked necessarily, but yeah, I mean, they're not necessarily liked, but I feel like this was such a harsh way about it, and the fact that it's over protesting when nobody was, like, I feel like it would be understandable if people were hurt or people were seriously delayed, and yes, there was some delay involved, but there wasn't even a gridlock on the motorway. Like, it feels completely overly harsh and slightly ridiculous, to be honest. That's my 2 cents on the matter. People might not actually care. But yeah, it's just, I feel like it's crazy. I think it's so unnecessary, to be honest. Like, being serious for a second. It's so unnecessary. In my mind, anyways. I don't have a law degree. I'm not anyone special. I'm just... Oh, I was about to say British citizen. I mean, I am, but I'm just a citizen who feels like it was a close call to stepping on some of my rights. Not overtly, but for pretty peaceful protest, should they be cracking down that hard? I don't know. Anyways, love ya. Bye bye.